everybody, and welcome to the WDW Fan Zone Show podcast. We thank you for dropping back in with us, and we hope that you've been listening to us for a little while now. We have a slightly abbreviated co-host situation this evening, so unfortunately, Jess is unable to be with us here this evening, so we're not going to get into the Walt Disney World news. However, we're going to talk about a topic related to resorts, and our topic this evening is the Walt Disney World Deluxe resorts, and we're each going to share up to three things that we like about each of the Walt Disney World Deluxe resorts, and maybe three things that we don't like quite as much, or we wish were better, or are things that we like maybe better in another resort. So, to go ahead and kick us off here this evening, we're going to talk first of all about the Animal Kingdom Lodge. So, our first deluxe resort this evening. So, since I'm looking from top to bottom here, I'm going to start with Darlene this evening and ask you to share, first of all, three things that you really like or really connect with you about the Animal Kingdom Lodge, the deluxe resort, and then some three things, if you've got up to three, that you think could improve or wish would be better, or just plain don't like about it for some reason.
Okay. Well, Animal Kingdom Lodge, we've stayed at a couple times. And I think if you're staying there, our main goal for staying there is to not go to the parks while we're there. We love staying just on property. We like a Savannah view if you can get it. It's something that you need to book rather sooner than later to get a Savannah room. A lot of people do like to get those rooms. So that's our main thing, is getting a Savannah room. Um, our second thing about that is sitting on our balcony and watching and having our breakfast or lunch or drinks and cheese and crackers on that balcony and just watching the animals just frolicking around. It's so much fun. Another thing we like about that resort is the pool is well themed, and the you don't have to just eat in the restaurants, even though there's three great restaurants on property, Chico Boma and Sanaa Ekidani. You can go over to the Maya, and they've got a very good quick service for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Oh,
Um,
the Mara.
oh, Mara,
Yeah,
Mara,
yeah,
Mara.
we're getting mixed up a little bit with the Coronado Springs
Oh, there we
and
go.
the Maya Grill. Yep.
Maya Grill, Mara. Um, so yeah, so those are about my three things. The only thing I just wish it was closer to the other parks. It's the furthest away. That's my only like dislike.
Well,
So,
that's saying something, though, isn't it?
hmm
And would you say that's one of your favorite ones to stay at then, or do you only do it when you're not visiting the parks as much?
when we're not visiting the parks as much.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. Okay. Well, Kurt, what do you have on your list of likes?
Okay, so we've stayed at both Jumbo House and Kidani Village, through points and through just buying it out. So back when it first opened for Jumbo House, you used to be able to book a standard room, and they would upgrade you to a Savannah view. And it was still a positive. I'll get to the negative with that in just a moment, but just the theming itself, it was so unique when this place was built. It was nothing like it. It was just like going to Africa, um, with everything going on over there. It's just a beautiful resort, both of them. Um, Very unique designs. The shopping that you could do there is unlike the shopping you could do at any of the other resorts. They're very unique gifts that you would not find anywhere else on property.
Yeah.
So
It's more like, and it's kind of like the Animal Kingdom park itself, that
exactly.
you can get gifts, souvenirs that you can't get in any other park.
Correct. Again, one of the other positives, though, even though you're booking a standard view room, there is possibilities you might be able to book one that's like maybe it's facing an access road. So there's still areas where they come in off the outsides where you still see the animals. It's not all the plush ground, big savanna area. However, there's still a lot of animals that would rather hang out there. We're seeing warthogs like crazy. And the ostriches and the other birds were just all, dancing around and flirting with each other. And it was like an antelope would go anywhere. So they didn't care where they were at. So these were all great positives. You didn't just have to look at the parking lot. You didn't have to look at the pool.
Right.
The negatives, again, as Darlene said, it's far away from everything. The other negative, on Jumbo House, there's one way in and one way out. And if you get all the way down on the end, it's over a 1/4 mile walk from one side of that resort just to the middle. So you got to think about that sometimes. Now, if you're at Kidani Village, they literally have underground parking. So you don't have that issue because you can park right underneath of your resort and just take the elevator up, and it's a hallway walk, and that's about it. But those long walks were it's just to kill. You've had a long day. You just walked all the way, you walked 12 miles around Epcot, and now you walk back, and it's a long walk from the parking lot to the main entrance, and now another 1/4 mile walk just to your room. And if you're taking young children, that's not fun.
I will say, if you're taking young children or a lot of luggage, I have
Yes.
I have hauled big heavy luggage all the way down that carpeted corridor,
Yes.
and those roller bags don't roll so well on that
No.
carpeting. No. Cool. Anything else?
Those are my two main things that I just there's not a lot wrong with the resort other than it's far away from everything else, and it's a haul. But we got a rental car, so I don't have to wait all the extra time. When we're actually if we're looking to save points, like this year, we're kind of saving some points for a bigger trip that we're taking next year. You can, if you're a DVC member, you can get a really nice resort over there for a lot less points than you're going to get at one of the other resorts. So,
Yeah.
and a 2-bedroom has 3 bathrooms in it.
Yes, there are some. That is a great feature of Animal Kingdom DVC. Absolutely, absolutely. Cool. All right. Well, I think you both stole all of my likes. I had the Savannah View is, that's why you go to the Animal Kingdom Lodge, is for that Savannah View. And, the theming is important too, and certainly the food, but I think that's why most people go there. But even beyond what Darlene said, that you can get a room sometimes where you can see more, you can see it, or I'm sorry, you said this, Kurt, where you can see some of the Savannah, even if you don't have a Savannah view room per se, but you can also see the Savannah from other parts of the resort. So if you're walking down the hallway, there's glass panes you can look out. There's Sanaa. If you're dining at Sanaa, you can, if you've got a good table, you can look right out onto the Savannah. Or if you walk out the back of the resort, they have an area where you can view the Savannah. So it's the Savannah is one of the biggest things of the resort. So yeah, definitely a big one for me.
In that center courtyard area, when you first walk in, you walk through the common area. We had like a 2-hour wait. We just went outside, did a seated area. They had fans going with rocking chairs. Just sit back and relax and watch it. All the common areas have seats where you can just sit and watch.
Yeah, and like Darlene said, if you have coffee, you have breakfast. That was one of our favorite things to do, is to go out on the patio, unless it was really cold, if it was January and it was 35, 40 degrees on one of those mornings, but to go out on the balcony and sit and eat breakfast and relax. And you find yourself getting caught up just staring at all of the wildlife and forgetting what time it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
that was actually, it was my mom's favorite resort. And we'd be like, Mom, you're supposed to be here an hour ago. They were changing out the water. She wanted to watch them clean the ponds out,
Mm,
just sitting back, relaxing. And that was
yeah,
pre-cell phones. We're like, how are we supposed to get a hold of her?
yeah. And you never know what animals you're going to see. And I'm always
No.
amazed at how much you do get to see, but they do such a great job in the way that they have the grounds arranged and where they put the feeders. You, I don't know if I can remember out of the last few times I visited that I wasn't able to see a giraffe. I wasn't able to see
Right.
zebra. There, you get to see a good variety, and I always got to see a lot. And
Hmm.
like you said, even sometimes when you don't have the savannah view. So yeah, savannah is
Hmm.
the biggest thing on my list. Uh, Darlene talked about the dining, and there's not a bad dining.
Mm-mm.
There's not a
Hmm.
bad dining location there between Sanaa, Jico, Boma, and the Mara. We have gone to the Animal Kingdom Lodge for lunch or dinner at the Mara when we weren't staying there. So we've certainly done Boma, Sanaa, made a reservation there when we weren't staying there, but I've done mobile order where we go over to the Mara just as an excuse to go see the Animal
Hmm.
Kingdom Lodge, even when we're not
Mhm.
staying there.
But they
So
do make it you have to have a mobile order to get in, and they're
Correct.
going to click that button and make sure that that order sticks.
yeah, yeah, they're a little more lenient with their since they've got more parking than other deluxe resorts. But yeah, they my experience has been that way as well. So that's what I do. In fact,
Mhm.
when I want to go visit one of the deluxe resorts and I'm not staying there and I don't feel like or I can't make a deluxe dining reservation, I do a
Hmm.
mobile order. And I have
Right.
not had any trouble so far with being able to do that. Now, I haven't tried it at like the Polynesian and Captain Cook's, but I don't think they're going to give you trouble at the Animal
You can
Kingdom
take the
Lodge.
monorail to get to there.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so dining, and I agree with Kurt, and that's the gift shop. It's unique, it's large, so
Hmm.
it's got a lot of African themed, handcrafted merchandise and souvenirs, but it's also got a lot of Disney souvenirs, and it's got a lot of the Disney souvenirs that have the African themes to them. Some things you
Hmm.
might be able to find in the Animal Kingdom park itself, and it's got a decent amount of food if you're a DVC member, where you can buy frozen items, you can buy fresh items for breakfast, lunch, or dinner to take back to your room. So I think they do a good job of everything they have there, personal items and all the unique stuff. And you can go into the gift shop from the outside. You don't even have to go into the lobby to go into the gift shop.
That is actually one of the negatives of staying at Kidani Village is there is no quick service dining. You have to go over to Mara,
And so
other than going
are
to the
you trying to
pool.
take my my
I'm sorry.
downsides?
I thought you were wrapped up with those. I didn't
No,
realize you hadn't done those
those are
yet.
my likes. So,
Okay, go
so
ahead. Sorry.
so so Kurt had my first dislike, and that is, yeah, there's no counter service at Kidani, and being a DVC member who has Kidani points, it you can get food over at the Mara. You can mobile order breakfast at Sanaa, so you can get counter service, so to speak, at Sanaa, but it's just not the same as having a full scale counter service restaurant. So that's one of my negatives. You also talked about the long hallways. I have never been in
Hmm.
such a long hallway
Hmm.
as at Kidani Village, and I'm the all the way to the end of the necklace, so to speak. Yeah,
Yes.
yep. And to your point, it's helpful that there are elevators that go into the underground parking garage. So if you are driving a car, you can do that. If you're taking the bus, if you're taking an Uber, not so much. So they do help with that a little bit, but it is definitely a walk. And so the other thing that I have is also bus service. And it's not that they don't have regular bus service there, but it has to go back and forth between Kidani and Jumbo House, and I swear I can never keep track of which one it's stopping at first, coming in or going out. And it always seems like it's at the place that's going to cause the most amount of stops for me. I don't
Hmm.
know what it is, and that tends to, which I think there's commonality in a lot of the resorts, but it tends to fill the buses up too. There are a lot of people
Correct.
staying between the Jumbo House and Kidani, and multiple stops. If you get on the last stop, so if you're staying at Kidani and it stops at Jumbo House first to go to the parks and then comes to Kidani, the bus can be pretty full already.
Hmm.
So, so
It's like
I'm
catching a bus at the All-Star resorts.
yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, so I think that's a kind of a common theme with a lot of the resorts. But when it comes to deluxe resorts, it's not as common in the deluxe resorts as it is with
Correct.
some of the moderates and the values. Yeah. Alrighty. So those are my likes and dislikes, or maybe doesn't like quite so much. I'm going to move on now, and I'm going to start it off this time. I'm sorry. I'm going to have Darlene go first again, and we're going to go to Boardwalk. But we're going to go Darlene, and then me, and then Kurt.
Okay.
So Darlene, why don't you share what you have for likes for the Boardwalk?
So Boardwalk, it reminds me, of course, of the Coney Island feel. I never got to go to Coney Island, but just staying there with the carousel horse design that they have. And we've stayed there quite a few times because we love that resort. We love the pool area. The scary clown is now gone. But the my daughter loved the slide at that pool, and they kept the slide. Um, and the fact that it's themed so well, each room is a really good size that we've stayed in. And they they don't really have per se a restaurant, but the fact that you're on the boardwalk, you have inside they now have a little bakery that you can get stuff in the morning, sandwiches and stuff. They also had up on the one floor, it's right across like the lobby, there's like a bar area. And in the morning they would have a few little pastries and coffee.
They have
But
they have a coffee shop there.
yeah,
Yeah.
they do have a coffee bakery shop now. Remember where the store was?
That's where the store was, right?
That's
That's
where it is.
that's now a bakery.
Yeah, right
And
off the lobby.
yep, right off the lobby. Plus they have the bar area that they still serve
Oh
stuff.
yeah, that's over the Bellevue
Always.
Lounge.
Yeah, the Bellevue Lounge. Then if you go outside, you have, which shares with the beach club and everything, you have all that convenience of, you've got the bakery, you got uh the beach club, you can eat there, you can go to their quick service, you can go to the yacht club, you can go to Flying Fish, which is one of our old co-host Stuart's favorite place to eat. They've got the pizza window, Tutorial al Forno. Um, what am I missing? Oh, the new cake place.
Cake Bake Shop. Yeah,
And you can eat at that place as well. I thought it was just cake slices. It's not just
No,
cake
it's not
slices.
just
no.
desserts; it's dining. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's great, and you can walk to the Swan and Dolphin too while you're there, and you can go to your my other thing is the convenience of the parks. You can walk to Epcot and you can walk to Hollywood Studios and get all your steps in.
Absolutely. Okay, so what about things that you don't like quite as much about the boardwalk?
My husband and I couldn't think of one thing we don't like.
Wow. Well, that's saying something though. Okay, cool. All right. Well, you've covered some of the things that I had, and the most immediate thing I had was the closeness to Epcot. It's
Mhm.
it's a short walk. and I'll say, if you've had to walk around all day long, sometimes you may not want to have to walk the whole way back, but you're able to walk to it. And if you don't want to feel like walking, you do have the friendship boats to take you in.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
I like the feel of the stroll. I'd
Mhm.
like to just take my time and walk in. So, hopefully I'm not trying to get to the entrance for early entry to get on line for Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. But yeah, it's in the late afternoon, early evening, going into the park to enjoy the festivals or show or whatever. Yeah, I love the stroll over there. And I also had, to your point, there's so much dining, and it's not in the resort itself necessarily. It's not, off of the lobby. But it's outside there on the
Mhm.
boardwalk, and you have so many choices, and you went through them all. I'm not going to go through them again, but I agree with you there. And I would just add to that, you have so many amenities on the boardwalk,
Mhm.
whether it's dining, there's multiple shopping opportunities there. You've got entertainment. Some of the other things you didn't talk about, and I've never been there, but the Abracadabra Bar, there's the Corn Dog Hut,
Thank you.
there's a bunch of other small food places that are out there as well.
Mhm.
So so many the bikes, there are so many amenities available to you, as and also, like you said, Darlene, to be able to walk to the other Epcot resort area hotels as well for their dining. So those are the
Mhm.
things that I had for the likes, certainly overlapping with what you had. And here's where I'm going to disagree with you. But so the pool, the pool is not my favorite pool. I don't hate the pool. I never liked the clown face, but
Mhm.
it was never my favorite pool. Um, and I think we talked about this with the Animal Kingdom Lodge a little bit, or or at least to me, it's very similar. I find some very long hallways in the boardwalk,
It
depending
could
on
be.
where your room is.
Mhm.
And this is goes along with it, something that I don't particularly like. There are only two elevators in the entire resort, and you can find yourself waiting because you've got a family in front of you, or you're on a floor that is not the first floor the elevator stops, and you have your people coming down, and you happen to be on the second floor, and you've got a lot of luggage you've got trying to leave with. Well, you've got a whole family got on the third floor, filled the elevator up, and you have to wait for another one. So the elevator can be a little bit of a backup sometimes, long hallways. And this seems this is an inconvenience. It's not bad, and that is, there's no longer a gift shop in the lobby like we talked about. There's
Mhm.
the coffee bar there, and not that the gift shop was ever very big, so it was never a great gift shop. And we certainly have the screen door, which is a great gift shop.
It's an awesome store.
It's so it's not super convenient if you're coming into the lobby and you're not, you know, you go into your room, whatever. So you can't just come down from your room into the lobby and grab something. You have to go a little bit further. It's not very far. So the screen door is still pretty convenient, but it would be nice, I think, if there was still a gift shop there off the lobby. That's all I'm saying. So, but and so the one other thing that I I kind of waffled on a little bit, and that is, there's not a traditional counter service. So you can get pizza at the pizza window, you can get corn dogs, you can get sandwiches in the deli area, in the boardwalk deli, but there's not one counter service that you can just go in and sit down. So you can sit on some chairs out on the boardwalk there, but it can get pretty hot out there. There's not a lot of shade there.
Mhm.
So there's not a counter service where you can go in and have a variety of counter service food and sit down and relax, which a, a lot of the other deluxe and other size resorts do have. So that was one of the other things that I feel like I'm missing if I stay at the boardwalk. Don't get me wrong, I like staying at the boardwalk, but That's one of the trade-offs that you have. Okay, so Kurt, what do you have for likes for the boardwalk?
All right, I'm going to be honest. We've only stayed at the boardwalk once, and that was all the way back in 2011.
Mm.
And I remember the gift shop you guys were talking about because there's a gift shop slash pantry where you get your food and stuff. So now that that's gone and it's a bakery, I don't even know what the new gift shop looks like.
Mm.
So I
Trying to
don't
find a
remember too much
picture.
about the room. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to find a picture.
Gotcha. I don't remember the room very well, other than remembering that when we were there, my son was sick and we needed a room, and the room that we got, the floor was wet, which means
Oh,
there might have been a pet staying there or something, and they had to clean the rug, but it had that kind of wet, mildewy smell when we got in the room. So
mm.
for me to give a lot of positives, that's the bakery.
Yes.
Okay.
Darlene is sharing a picture. You're talking about the coffee bar off the
The
lobby?
coffee
coffee
bar.
bar.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Okay.
She was
So
sharing a picture with us.
I don't remember a lot of positive thoughts, and I'm going to be honest. We stayed there one time, and we haven't gone back.
Hmm. Well, do
We
you
just
ever
didn't feel wowed to go back there.
do you
So
ever go visit it? Do you ever walk out
yeah.
International
Now
Gateway to
this
visit?
is where we did like the things we like. With the things we really did like about it are some of the things you already messaged. You guys forgot to mention the Skyway that goes to Disney Hollywood
Oh,
Studios is
yeah.
right there.
Hmm.
So that the convenience of being there, you're within walking or Skyliner of 3 parks. So we're gonna hit another park or another resort there that I feel stronger about with that. Um, the being able to go out and get it's the only place I think outside of the Magic Kingdom where you can get a corn dog. That's wrapped inside of it's
A
a hot
pickle.
dog inside of a pickle wrapped. And I still have not gotten it, but oh my god, I'm ready to get there. This summer, it's on the list. But when we're going to be
I
there, it's
have
going
that
to
on my
be
definite list for April.
yeah,
Yep.
it's going to be like 105 in the shade when we're there. So do I really want to sit outside and eat this corn dog? So it's got
Wait
to
till
be
the sun
something to
goes
eat
down.
while I'm walking.
Wait
Yeah.
till the sun goes down.
So now it used to be cool. They used to have Surrey bikes that you could ride around there. Do they still have those
They do.
on
Yeah.
the
Oh yeah.
boardwalk?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
riding the Surrey bikes on the boardwalk is something cool. It's not something I've ever done. Um, my dislike, yeah, the creepy clown pool was creepy, but they replaced it. It was something that was 3D, and that was the thing. What that was back in the decade when they were building resorts, they were above and beyond. So it was 3 dimensional. It was solid. Everything was out there. Right now, I feel like the theming at Port Orleans French Quarter of their pool is better than the theming at this pool. They put up a 2 dimensional wall that Darlene is showing a picture of, and it just doesn't wow me. It's lost its wow factor.
It's
Yes, the
bland.
clown was
I think
creepy.
it's bland. Yeah.
It's just it feels like okay, people are complaining about the clown. Here, someone paint a mural on the side of this with Mickey and Minnie on the roller coaster. Boom, here you go. It it just doesn't feel the quality that it should be,
Yeah.
and that
It's-
disappoints me.
some people seem to really like that pool. I am not in the same camp as that, but it's because there's so many other pools that I like so much better. I think it's my
Right,
least favorite deluxe pool.
right. So, but that's I mean, I've just visited. Again, the outdoor seating at 105 degrees doesn't wow me. You got to go at nighttime, but at nighttime I'm over doing something else somewhere else. Um, it's interesting to walk around in there, like walking around at Christmas time. But again, it's of my deluxe resorts that I've stayed at. It's probably I'm sorry, it's probably my least favorite of them.
Mm.
Not saying it's bad, just for what we like to see, it's our least favorite.
Yeah, and it's a deluxe resort for a reason, and more than
Right,
just price. I mean, it offers a lot,
right. Oh
right?
yeah,
So to say it's your least favorite Walt Disney World deluxe resort is still saying a lot.
Mhm.
right.
Yeah.
It's got a lot
Okay.
of pluses. It's just I don't know. It's not my. It's very bustling. I guess I don't need
Well, there's
all the
certainly,
hustle and
yeah,
bustle.
there's certainly crowds, and there was a time where the buses would actually take you to Boardwalk
Hmm.
as if it was a park. So you could
Like
Mhm.
it
get,
was downtown or Disney
yeah,
Springs
yeah,
for
yeah.
Yes.
shooting. Yeah.
So you could go from a resort to Boardwalk,
Yeah.
Yes, which
which,
was great back in the day when they did
yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah,
I miss that.
yeah. Can't do that anymore. No.
Mm-mm.
Okay, well, we're going to move on. And our next resort is going to be the Wilderness Lodge. And I'm going to go first this time. Then I'm going to have Kurt go and then Darlene. How's that sound?
Perfect.
All right. So the Wilderness Lodge, I tell you, it at different times in my life, I say the Wilderness Lodge is my favorite deluxe resort. And it's hard to say because there's just so many Walt Disney World resorts that I like, but I love just the look of the property, the aesthetics between the architecture and the fact that it looks like, or it's themed and designed after the lodges of the national parks. I love that the totem poles in the lobby, the high atrium, the wooded areas around, the geysers out back, the water going through the lobby. It, it just the entire property to me is a beautiful property. It sits on Bay Lake, and it feels rustic. You know, you feel pampered, but it's got a rustic feel. So I just love the overall feel of the property. Again, I think it's beautiful. So that's one. And dining, we talked about dining in Animal Kingdom Lodge. Well, there's great dining here too, and it's only been improved by adding Geyser Point.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So I'd like Roaring Fork for a counter service restaurant. It's not a huge counter service, but I like Roaring Fork. And I like Artist Point. It's a character meal now. So it's not, if you want to go out and have a standard sit down meal, you may not want to go to Artist Point because Snow White and the Evil Queen, it's more geared toward the character meal now. Um, but uh, oh my gosh, and I'm gonna forget myself here. Oh my gosh, this is terrible. So we got the Territory Lounge, which is also there as well, and I'd have to I'd have to rely on Lottie. Darlene, have you ever been to Territory Lounge?
No, I have not.
Okay, so I can't rely on you to tell me if it's uh if it's a good lounge, and I don't know, have we ever heard Lottie talk about that?
No.
I
Okay,
don't think so.
okay. But one of a lot of people's favorites is Whispering Canyon.
Mhm.
It's comfort food. It's you. I don't think you get small portions at Whispering Canyon Cafe. You get
Mm-mm.
entertainment. So I think
Can I
there's
have
some
some
good,
ketchup?
yeah, and some straws.
Yes, and a straw. And a
Yeah.
refill, please.
So I think you have some good dining there, and it's different dining. It's different dining from what you're going to get in other places too.
Right.
Whispering Canyon is not like anything else. Geyser Point, the ambiance and the food that's there, including the bison burger, you're not going to get other places.
No.
Right.
So and Artist Point and the character dining there is very unique too. So I like the dining there, and I this goes along with the overall theming, but I think they have a fun pool. I
Mhm.
in the way that they've got things sculpted out there between the geysers and the rock work, it and surrounded by the you're surrounded by the different parts of the lodge itself. So you get to see a big portion of the lodge while you're there. So I really like the pool area there. So those are my three likes for it. As far as dislikes or things that I don't like as much, that it's frustrating to me to be at a Magic Kingdom resort and not be able to get to the Magic Kingdom very easily. And they have multiple transportation. You can get on a boat. The last I knew, you could still get on a bus. Do either of you know if you can still get on a
Yeah,
bus?
you can still take a bus to any park.
Yeah, yeah. So you can get a boat, you can get a bus, and the boats are nice if you want to relax. But I've also seen where the dock to get to the boats, the queue for that can get awfully long and
Mhm.
extend the whole way back off the dock onto the land. And
Right.
sometimes the boat that's coming in is a smaller boat. So there's
Mhm.
times where you might have to wait for a second boat. And that's not even talking about being there on one of the more crowded times of the year. So transportation is it's not quite as good, especially since it's a Magic Kingdom resort and you can't get to the Magic Kingdom as you easily as you can from one that are on the monorail loops. And while I like Whispering Canyon Cafe, and it's not as much as it was anymore because they have toned it down, but it can get noisy in the lobby
Mhm.
there.
It
So
can.
it and it all depends on how you feel at any given point in time. So the noise in the lobby can sometimes be a turn off for me. And I might be a little bit outdated on this. So have either of you stayed at the Wilderness Lodge recently?
No,
2021.
Okay.
that's
Ha-
sooner than us. Yeah,
have
my
they
daughter stayed.
upgraded the rooms at that point?
Well, yeah, we were staying at a DVC lounge or DVC. It was a 2-bedroom DVC in the main building.
So you
Yes,
were
they were
in Copper
updated.
Creek,
That's the name. Yes,
not
the
in
main
Boulder
building.
Ridge.
Yes, not in
Yeah.
Boulder Ridge.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. The last time I was there in the main building, the it had that dark feel, the dark woods. And not that I'm against dark woods, but it just made the room itself kind of dark. A- And I haven't
A
been
lot
there
of
the
the
last
yeah.
couple of years.
So Animal Kingdom, it's similar like Animal Kingdom. It's got that darker wood
Yeah.
feel to it,
Yeah.
but it's definitely more log cabin-ish.
Hmm.
I'm trying to find pictures.
Yeah. And I like the rustic feel. That's one of the big things I like about the Wilderness Lodge. But I think at least the last time I was there, I could see them doing a makeover for the rooms and balancing between that rustic feel, but a little bit brighter in the
Mhm.
rooms as well. So those are the things that I have. Kurt, what about you?
All right. So this is by far my favorite resort. If I could stay here every time, I would. The ambiance of that, it's a spring that comes up in the lobby, goes out the window, well, out through the back lobby underneath the window, and that's the stream that feeds all the way down to the pool. Beautiful, love it. It's my favorite. You can sit on your balcony and just listen to that water flowing all night long. The water drowns out the little kids that are screaming in the pool and everything else. Because you're again boardwalk, it's loud. That's where we're talking a bit with that. It just felt a little bit more bustling. Here, it's more relaxing, so you can take advantage of that. Um, just very relaxing. Sitting at that fireplace, even in
Mm.
the main lobby, is a beautiful thing. So everything about the upstairs, there's a little like library, I'd call it, I guess. Even though there's no books, it's just a little quiet area. You could sit there. They have plugs you could plug in and just type away if you got to work away from work. Um, yeah, it's just everything about it is just relaxing to me. Tons of hidden Mickeys you can look for. As far as the dining, it's got to me, some of the best tasting dining options. That bison burger, many people think it might be one of the best burgers on property. That's always debatable, but it's a darn good burger.
Well, the fact that
Um,
it's up there for debate means that it's a good
exactly.
burger. Yeah.
The carry. Why can I think of the name of their carry-out dining? Um, we've come there from other resorts just to eat there, and it's
You mean at
large.
Geyser Point?
No, not Geyser Point.
Because they
Uh,
do have
Roaring
to go
Fork?
there.
Whispering. Is it not Whispering Canyon?
Well,
Is it
No,
Roaring
Whispering
Fork
Roaring
Canyon?
is
Forks.
their
Roaring
Roaring Fork.
Fork.
That's their counter
Yes.
service and mobile
Yeah,
order.
that's what I said. The counter service. So
Yeah.
that counter service, the portions are huge and the prices weren't ridiculous. I mean, I think we had to take some leftovers home because it was that much food. It was delicious. I love it. Where you complain about the boat transportation, I love it. To me, it takes me back to 1972, hopping on one of those boats, because those two boats, the boats they're using for transportation there, they're smaller boats, they opened the park in 71. So we used to take those smaller boats from Fort Wilderness over, and they realized they needed more, and that's when they built those bigger ones. I think there was one that's yellow and one that's blue. They came around somewhere between like 74 to 76, somewhere in there. I have to look back through my pictures, but those boats going over that water bridge was always the coolest thing to me. So taking that over to the Magic Kingdom, that to me was the Magic Kingdom to me was this magical island that you had to come around the Contemporary to see it. So I love riding the boat for that nostalgia. And I've never had a problem with the lines being that long. Usually they're running pretty quickly to where they're rotating better than the buses.
Several times I have just made it onto the boat and there were people behind me that did not.
Right. Yeah. Right. So I love the boat transportation. There is also still, to my knowledge, boat transportation going to the Contemporary, as far as I know.
There is. I've used it recently.
So that's nice, because you could literally be taking the boat to the Contemporary, hop up to the 4th floor, jump onto the monorail, take that to the Ticket and Transportation Center, and over to Epcot, and bypass all those buses. So it's going to take about the same time probably as waiting for a bus, to be honest with you, but you're moving. I enjoy that. Those are all my positives. Now, negatives were hard to find. So yes, it's not on the actual monorail line for a deluxe resort for Magic Kingdom. So it's not, but that's minimal. It's bus service to go everywhere else.
There's trade-offs for that. I agree.
Again, it's bus services to go everywhere. So you literally, it's like Animal Kingdom being in the middle of nowhere. I'm fine with that. That's kind of what I'm looking for. In order to sleep 5 people, you have to upgrade. You can, and most of these resorts we're talking about are the same way. So far, Animal Kingdom, I don't remember if that slept 5. I'm pretty sure I think all of these resorts only sleep 4. So if I'm searching for that,
I think Animal Kingdom, the studios do have a pull-out chair for the 5th.
Is that I'm not talking DVC though.
Okay. You're talking the standard room. Okay.
Just a standard room. To go to a standard room at the Wilderness Lodge, you have to either be staying in a deluxe studio or a DVC villa.
Okay.
So, or go up to concierge, which you got it, I guess. Yep.
Yeah.
But those are all my I mean, it wasn't really a lot. This is my favorite resort. If I could book this more, I would.
Well, I'm not surprised that your list is short when you say it's your favorite. I'm good with that. What about you, Darlene?
Well, I haven't stayed at the Wilderness Lodge since 2001, but I do absolutely love the resort. It's gorgeous, like you said about the totem poles. Excuse me. When my daughter stayed there last, we were able to go and see her there, and the rooms were very nice. The totem poles, the store is really cool there. I like that store. We did eat at Roaring Forks and Artist Point back in the day, and back then the character meal was Winnie the Pooh and Friends. So, but the pool, like you said, it's very well themed. We've eaten at Geyser Point. The food is very good. And I like the geysers and everything. So, and the fact that you're right there on the water is it's a great resort to be kind of away from the hubbub, but still right there in it.
Nice. Okay. Any dislikes that you have, whether it's staying at the resort or even just visiting the resort?
Um, just the only thing is, with any of the water transportation, if there's any weather in the area, be prepared to have to take a bus because
Okay.
they will shut down the waterways.
Okay. Yeah. That's the same kind of challenge you have with the Skyliner is bad
Yeah.
weather can put it out of
Mhm.
service. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we are not going to get through all of the all of the deluxe resorts today. But we're going to do
Mm-mm.
one more, and I think we're going to switch over to the Grand Floridian this time. And Darlene, if I might impose upon you, I'm going to ask you to go first for the Grand Floridian here.
Okay. Just recently stayed there, so I've stayed there a few times actually over the
I
past
have no evidence that you've stayed there recently.
few years. I know. We got to meet there. Who would have thought you would have been in the same hotel as me? But that resort is one of the original, grand hotels. There's it's a resort that has separate buildings. Our DVC building it's got its own building, and it's right outside of a pool. When you were there, it was not open, but their themed pools are very nice. We particularly like our private pool over there, because you walk right out and it's literally right there. The rooms are very nicely designed with the, Mary Poppins theme. It's great. One of my big things that I absolutely love is that you can watch the Magic Kingdom fireworks right outside the Gasparilla Grill at night and just sit there and enjoy the fireworks. There are many dining options when you stay at the Grand Floridian. You have, like I said, the Gasparilla Grill, which is your counter service. You have the Grand Floridian Cafe. You have Citrico's Narcoossee's 1900 Park Fair, which is your character dining, which we've eaten there, and that was a lot of fun. It was like the Mad Hatter and Alice in Wonderland and stuff. And then you have your fancy dress up with Victoria and Alberts, which I have not partaken in. John, no?
I don't think any of us have ever
Yeah.
been to Victoria and
Okay.
Albert's.
Um, I have had friends that have done it. They said it's the most amazing experience.
Oh, did Lottie say she's been there?
No, it's on her
It's on
It's
her list.
on
Yeah.
her
bucket
bucket
list.
Okay.
list.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, I have a dress hanging in the closet. I could definitely do it if I could talk my husband into
Mm.
it. um, but the I don't have very many dislikes. It's a very busy resort, very, very busy. They do have shopping. They have if you're into soaps and stuff, they have a basin. Um, they had, they have the monorail. You could take the monorail. During Christmas, they have, oh, yeah,
That's great. I think you have an affinity for the Grand
I think,
Floridian.
yeah, I think I love that
So you
resort.
started talking about things that you didn't like about so much, and you started talking about things you like. So, and anything else that you think,
No,
okay.
if you get a chance, definitely stay there. And
Yeah,
kids are welcome.
yeah. I'm like I said, I'm gonna go next. And I
Mhm.
do think that sometimes Grand Floridian gets a bad reputation as being some hoity-toity place. And you know what, I've shared that same feeling sometimes until I've actually stayed there. And visiting there, I've always been comfortable to visit there, but I never realized how comfortable it was until I actually stayed there too. So
Mhm.
I love the Grand Floridian. I love, so we talk about some of my likes. I love now that they put a walkway from the Grand Floridian to the front of the Magic Kingdom. You didn't used to be able to get through there. They had to build a bridge. You know, you could always see the sidewalk where they used to have the bricks that you could purchase closer to
That's my
Magic
bricks
Kingdom.
went all the way down to the end. That's where my brick was.
Yeah. And then it would stop. And it's like, well, what is the point of having that walkway if you walk to the end and you have to turn around and come back?
Turn
So
around and
Right.
walk back. That's
yeah,
we
so
didn't
I
go
was
very often.
grateful they put that in there. One of the other things that I like about it, you certainly have that close proximity, and one of the things, or two of the things that you can do in that close proximity at night is you can view the fireworks at the Magic Kingdom from a different perspective, and you may not be able to hear the music very well, but you can see the electric water pageant go by. In
Mm-hmm.
fact,
Yeah.
when I was in the same building as Darlene was this year, all I had to do was open my sliding door and it went right past my window.
Yeah,
And
Hmm.
that's great.
so I think that's a positive, a big positive for staying there. And similar to what I said about the Wilderness Lodge, it is a beautiful resort, and most especially the atrium. So you've got that large atrium, and you heard from Darlene about some of the shopping and the dining at all, and it's all right there in that main, not all of
Mm.
it. Most of it is there right in that main building. You have to walk out to go to the Gasparilla Grill. You have to walk out to go to Narcoossee's. But there's something about that atrium, and especially when it comes to the holidays, especially when it comes to Christmas time, they put that gingerbread house up. It just transformed the entire place.
It's
And there's so many
delicious.
people that come to visit. I love to go there and visit when the gingerbread house is in place. So
Mm-hmm.
those are three things that I have over and above what you heard from Darlene. I actually do have a few things that I, it's hard to say that I dislike, but that frustrate me a little bit, and that is I love the fact that there's a monorail, and I'm that close to the Magic Kingdom. But if you're on the resort monorail loop going to the Magic Kingdom, you're the last stop, and
Coming back.
by and large, that monorail is full till it gets
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
to you. So it's again, it's a trade-off more than it is a thing that I don't like. Well, I never like a full monorail.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like a full monorail, but I like having a monorail and I like riding in the monorail. And I will say that the dining can tend to be the more expensive dining. So it's good dining, but it tends to be more, expensive for the options that they have there. So I'm glad they have the Gasparilla Island Grill. I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad that they have a traditional counter service there. So I like the dining that is there, but there's a trade-off to it in that it is, you know, and not that fine dining in Walt Disney World is inexpensive anywhere, but it tends to be a little more, Victorian Albert's, is a whole category by itself, but even places like Narcoossee's uh, and then so one thing that I'm very disappointed by, and that is that their their Disney gift shop. So there's other shops there, as you said, Darlene, Lake
Mm-hmm.
Basin, and there's some other ones as well. But their gift shop is lacking, especially the one up on the second floor, the one closer to the monorail. I
Oh
used to
yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
used to love that gift shop. There used to be so many hiding places and racks and things that there was a lot of merchandise. Well, they have thinned it out now. There are very few racks, very few shelves there. So there's not a lot that's there in that gift shop when you compare it to other even deluxe resorts. So I think the Disney gift shop aspect is a little disappointing to me. There is another gift shop down on the first floor, uh, going out towards the back off of the main lobby, but it's a small one too. So that's just one thing that I've noticed, and and it's just not as good as it used to be. So okay, so Kurt, we're going to have you finish up this evening by giving us your thoughts on Grand Floridian.
I've never been there.
You've never been
So
there. Yeah.
I seriously, so again, since 2007, I've had DVC points.
Hmm.
So since 2007, you got to realize I'm traveling with between 5 and 7 people every day, every time.
Right. But you've
So,
visited. You
well,
don't have
let
to
me
have
go
stayed
on.
there. Yeah.
Let me go on. I cannot tell you anything about the dining because I've never eaten there. I
Hmm.
can't tell you anything about staying there because while you guys have 2 people and you're staying in a smaller room, we're booking 2 bedrooms. So I've never stayed there. I have visited at Christmas time and seen the gingerbread house that I like. Okay. I do agree that the water pageant is a wonderful thing to have there, as you get at other resorts. But for my bang for the buck, I've never stayed there, and I until I'm going just with my wife, I don't know if I will. And I don't spend a lot of time there because if you are just walking in, again, I'm on vacation. So if I'm just walking in somewhere and it does feel a little bit stuffy. Hey, it's a beautiful grounds. My sister stayed there. They loved it. But depending on some of those stores you're walking into, you might be the only person in a t-shirt when you walk in there. That's happened to me before. And
Hmm.
we're kind of like,
Hmm.
oh, okay. But again, that was 10, 15 years ago. So I don't go there very often. So I don't have many positives, I don't have many negatives. It's just it's out of my price range for what we're doing when we go there. So I've never dined there other than a cookie. They did have a very, very tasty cookie. But I've never dined there. We've window shopped, but that's about it. Um, and again, we just it's not our cup of tea for what we do on vacation. So
So do you ever do a monorail trip and visit the monorail resorts just to do a resort hop?
at times, yes, but we haven't gone there in a long time.
Okay. So you've spent more
It's
time in Contemporary and Polynesian than you have at Grand
contemporary
Floridian.
Polynesian. We were actually at the Polynesian on our last trip, just walked around a little bit.
Hmm.
It just, again, it's not just me going on my vacation. So again, I've got 6 people walking, there are 5, 6 of us walking around. What do we want to do? Going over by the Grand Floridian is not usually at the top of our list. That's not saying it's bad. It's just saying when I'm going with a group, that's not our cup of tea of where we want to go and what we want to do. So
Okay.
it's just, again, I'm middle class. I've always been middle class.
Well,
Grand Floridian, hey, I'm sorry. Grand
mm,
Floridian isn't built for the middle class. It's built up.
it,
I
it
mean,
it
that's where
is
Oprah
it is
goes and
definitely the
stays.
more expensive. There's no doubt
So
there. So, well, I think we're going to wrap things up tonight. So we were able to get through what, 4 of the deluxe resorts tonight, and we've talked about some of the things we like about them and some of the things that we don't like about them, or we aren't our favorite things. So hopefully that gives our listeners you know some ideas and maybe some things they want to try. But we hope that gives you something to think about, and we also hope that you come back next week as we talk about, well, we'll see how many more deluxe resorts we have to get through. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Darlene as we say goodnight.
Have a magical night. Stay safe. The weather is warming up, so please pack your sunscreen and your rain ponchos.
good night, everybody.
And I think to take some of the pressure off of Kurt, since he is not a big Grand Floridian fan, I'm going to go back to the Wilderness Lodge. And this is not from the Wilderness Lodge, but it's talking to the outdoors that you feel when you're at the Wilderness Lodge, and that is, it's time for a vacation, some rest and relaxation. Forget your cares and join us bears in the great outdoors. We hope you come back and join us bears, or whatever we are, next week. And you all have a great week. And the next time you get down to Walt Disney World, we hope you have a great trip there as well. Good night, everybody.